when a danger lurks, when it is life-threatening situation, or somebody has said something to us for which we have been all boiled up, there are some reactions that happen in our body. The heartbeat accelerates, blood pressure goes up, we start sweating, or we have this feeling of anxiety. Without we doing anything, our body has reacted. Why? This is called the autonomic nervous system. Hi, my name is Davinder Singh, also known as Tony. Today we're going to talk about the autonomic nervous system, a very important lesson in psychology and in understanding what goes on inside us. See, whenever there is any kind of peril, any kind of danger, there is a system inside our body, in our nervous system, apart from the central and peripheral nervous system. There is something called the autonomic nervous system in our body, which reacts without asking us, involuntarily. And this has been the reason why we have survived so far. When we were cavemen and running away from predators, when we saw some danger, this system protected us by making the brain carry out certain messages in the body and saying, now is the time to either fight or run away. So it's called the fight and flight mode. First part of this autonomic nervous system is called the sympathetic nervous system. Like you sympathize with yourself, so the brain says, we need to save ourselves. So sympathetic nervous system, what it does is it supplies a lot of blood to the limbs, to the heart, and the other organs of the body which are not needed at that time, like your digestive system, your reproductive system, these are not needed at that time. When there is an imminent danger right in front of you, those things are not needed at that time, right? It's a very important system of our body, but it raises the anxiety in our body by secreting certain neurotransmitters, certain hormones in the body. I won't go into the scientific detail of that. But when those hormones or neurotransmitters like cortisol levels are all up, now you're all excited, you're all aroused to be able to fend for yourself, to be able to defend yourself. The problem with this is it does not have an off switch. You can raise the sympathetic nervous system, but there has to be another system which is called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite of it, which actually tells you relax. Because if your anxiety levels are all raised up all the time, they are going to harm your body. They're not going to allow you to sleep. They are not going to let you rest because you need to flee. So now the other system kicks in. For example, if you're walking in a dark alley, you hear some footsteps following you. You start running faster and your heart is accelerating. But after a while, you turn around and see, oh, some friends were actually playing a prank on you. Within 4 or 5 minutes, you start laughing and the heartbeat goes down. The parasympathetic nervous system has kicked in and says, relax, beta, it's all right, you are not in danger. Take it easy. What if your anxiety levels that go up in certain people, they don't come down so easily? Now, the brain only understands what you think and how you interpret certain things, right? So the most amazing part of this, why I wanted to discuss with you, is that this was known to our philosophy, yoga, Ayurveda, and even Chinese. They knew this centuries ago. In yoga and Ayurveda, we called it Surya Nadi and Chandra Nadi. In Chinese philosophy, we called it yin yang. Surya Nadi, Chandra Nadi means Suraj means sun, means heated, means sympathetic nervous system, means arousal. Chandra Nadi means moon, means cool down, means parasympathetic. So they go hand in hand. In fact, if you have ever seen anyone teaching you pranayam, they will say You start breathing in with the left nostril, which represents the moon, and the right nostril represents the sun. Now, these two systems are there in our body, and we need to understand that there has to be a way to cool yourself down. Our brain does not know what is right, wrong, what is fake, and what is true. It just reacts according to how you interpret certain things. So if you say that I am in danger, my body is in danger, or my existence is in danger, it will raise your sympathetic nervous system. But to be able to cool it down, there are methods which work temporarily. And those methods are deep breathing exercises, because there are some nerves which are running in the body. For example, there is a cranial 10 nerve, which is also called the vagus nerve, which is running up till your diaphragm. So if you do diaphragmatic breathing, that is, inhale with your stomach expanded out and then exhale, it kind of cools down the system. In fact, if you do some box breathing, you inhale counting about 4, you retain your breath counting about 6, 7, and then you exhale counting about 7, and then you retain again for about 4. You do this box breathing. What happens with that is your heart rate drops. When your heart rate drops, it's like sending a signal to the brain, it's okay, beta, I am safe now. Not only that, there are some breathing exercises more than this that can actually help in activating the parasympathetic nervous system. For example, there is Anulom Vilom. Then there is Brahmari, where if you have seen anybody doing humming breathing, closing their eyes and plugging their ears, and when they do breathing exercise like humming breathing, it relaxes the body, telling the brain, giving a signal to the brain, it's all right. Certain massages work, especially when you massage the medulla or even the stomach and around here, you're able to relax yourself down. Laughter, that is also relaxing. Smiling and having chat with friends, again, what you're telling your brain is relax. Why is it important to tell your brain to relax? Is because otherwise your digestive system, your other systems are not getting the attention. If your anxiety levels are always up, the sympathetic nervous system is raised all the time, then the other systems are all in jeopardy. You need to relax so that your other systems, and this digestive system is one of the most important ones. If this is not working well, the rest of the body is going to suffer. So you need to be able to kick in the parasympathetic nervous system. But it doesn't mean that sympathetic nervous system is the villain. No. Like when you do Kapalbhati Pranayam, that is invigorating the body to wake up in the morning, you need to do that. And then side by side, you do Anulom Vilom or Brahmari to cool it down, but have a balance. When you do jogging, you do any kind of exercise, you do running, you do HIIT, which are all good. Your heart rate is going to accelerate. But after that, you need to calm down. You need to relax because the system needs to go down. At the same time, in the evening, don't do any kind of vigorous exercises because your sleep is one of the most important things. And if your parasympathetic nervous system has not kicked in, if you're not relaxed by the night, you will not be able to sleep well. So understanding the autonomic nervous system is very important because it is autonomic. It is happening automatically. It's beyond our control. We can do these things that I talked to you about. I read in one of the articles that you can even chew gum. You're fooling your brain by chewing gum because when you chew gum, there is saliva goes inside the stomach. It tells the brain, oh, ready to eat food. So actually, you're fooling your own system, not wrong. Because when you do some breathing exercises, when you do some mindfulness exercises, all those are absolutely correct. To the extent somebody says that you do a sisasana, heads down and legs up, that sisasana is also helping in parasympathetic nervous system. But let me say one thing. All these are very, very important, but they are temporary, because the solution lies in something that Gurbani says. Very interesting lines. Guru Sahib says, Sur sar sosle, som sar pokhle, jugat kar mart so sanband ki jaye. Sur means sun. Sur sar sosle. Take the breath to be able to invigorate your body's sympathetic nervous system. Som sar pokhle, also balance it out by the moon nadi, the moon system, that is the parasympathetic nervous system. Jugat kar mart so sanband ki jaye. Do the things which can put your body in balance. But the next line he says is very important to understand the system of our body. He says, Meen ki chapal syon jugat man rakhiye, ude ne hans ne kand chijay. Meen means fish, like a fish, your mind, which swims like you have no control over it. So if your thoughts are all over the place and you're not a good interpreter, Meen ki chapal syon jugat man rakhiye. The biggest thing that you have to do for your life and for the better of your body, for your longevity, is to be able to interpret things rightly. There are people who have some problems in life and they blow it out of proportion because their mind is interpreting it as the biggest disaster. So when they blow things out of proportion, their brain, again, as I said, brain is very innocent. It only listens to what you are saying. When you're telling the brain, I am going to die, the brain says, Hanji, I am going to die. So it interprets it that way, and your mind is doing all the interpretation. So your thoughts are so important. How you interpret things, if your mind is out of control, then you can do all those exercises that I talked about, but they will be only temporary solutions. So Guru Sahib says, if you don't control the thoughts of your mind, if you always look at small things that happen to you and blow them out of proportion, your mind is going to create havoc in your life. Meen ki chappal syon jugat man rakhi hai. Ude ne hans ne kand chijai. This body is like a wall. If your mind goes away all the time, then this body is going to suffer because it's going to erode. All this anxiety, this raised neurotransmitters or hormonal levels in your body, your cortisol levels are all raised up. You don't sleep enough. You have no rest because this system, parasympathetic system, is called the rest and digest. If you do not know how to rest your mind, you will have to keep on suffering. So understanding this system is important, the autonomic nervous system. Again, I'm not going into the scientific detail of this whole system. I'm just saying, yes, it is important to understand them. Both the systems are important for us. The sympathetic nervous system is invigorating us, making us deal with certain things that happen in life. And the parasympathetic nervous system is telling us to calm down. But how our mind works is the most important, because if our thoughts are not in place, this system inside is only going to be haywire. Please subscribe to the channel and share these videos with people who you think can benefit from them. Thank you so much for listening, ji. Apologies for my mistakes. Gur Fateh, Sat Sri Akal, Salam Namaste. Thank you so much. See you again.